if people don't subscribe, they're not going to see
Welcome back to Quiet on the Set. I am your host, Phil Biadrone. Before I say anything else, please remember to like and subscribe our channel. We love you, our fans. Anyway, today is a special day. Today is Patriots Day. Woo! You guys ready for some football? Right, New England.
No, that's not Phil. No.
Yeah? What's up?
It's not Patriots Day like the Patriots.
What is it?
It's 9/11.
Oh, okay. How could I forget? All right, so 9/11, okay? Big deal today. It's 15-year anniversary. What happened in the news on this day? This morning, actually, Hillary Clinton attended a 9/11 ceremony in New York, and apparently she fainted. Have you guys heard about this? Yeah, she was buckling at the knees and starting to get a little bit of faint. Oh, that was a clever one, Hillary. I used to do this again at church all the time. I understand. They didn't want to be there. It's totally fine. She said that she overheated. It was 8:30 in the morning in New York. What are you, an iPhone 2? How do you overheat like that? Doesn't make any sense. You know what? So she decided to go visit her daughter in Manhattan and Chelsea. Or Chelsea and Manhattan. That's a weak joke. I won't put that in there. But, you know, it was probably a good thing that she got out of there because it was really bizarre. When she stumbled and she fainted, as they say, she actually lost her shoe, which was bizarre because it kind of has this whole Cinderella thing attached to it. And who knows if it were to go on and she didn't get out of there, things would have started disappearing. You know, her van, her security guards, those emails. So, you never know. So, in the news, the iPhone 7 is coming out next week. How we feel about the iPhone 7? Ooh, got a lot of boos. Okay, so the big thing about the iPhone 7 is in the classic Apple fashion, they've taken innovative technology and brought it to people that no one wanted in the first place. And just like the Titanic, there is room for Jack. Why is there no Jack? It's not like it got in anyone's way. So they've eliminated the headphone jack. Instead, their substitution are called these AirPods. Have you heard of these? They're like these little things you put in your ears. You have to charge them separately. You can lose them just by looking at them. It's bizarre. And they cost $170, and they're not included with the phone. Boo. Boo. Boo indeed. You know what? But we're going to talk about the Apple event and PS4 a little bit later. But I'm certainly feeling that this iPhone 7 might blow up in Apple's faces. But speaking of blowing up in your faces, it's good that you're not Samsung. The South Korean-based company's new Galaxy Note 7 literally blows up in your face. So that's no good either. This phone has been catching fire in the most literal sense, over 35 cases in the beginning of September. So they are doing a massive recall for all these phones. Have to bring them back. It was a mistake that Samsung admitted. Those phones were actually meant for North Koreans. So, yeah. Anyway, speaking of North Korea versus South Korea, in the news, there is high tension once again between the two countries. At the fifth launch of missile testing done by North Koreans, 50 miles away from the Chinese border. That's insane. And what's even more insane is that China is a nuclear enabler. It's insane. It's like this overbearing mother, like, yeah, North Korea, he's just going through a hard time. Had a hard breakup with South Korea, but, you know, he'll move out and stop. What about the missiles? Oh, yeah, that's just kids will be kids. Kids will be kids. You know, it's interesting because North Koreans are dependent on China. 100% of all their oil and all their food comes from North Korea. So, in order to improve relations between the countries, the U.S. has intervened and now is helping South Korea build their missiles against the North Koreans, which, look, which side are you going to pick? We just need South Koreans. How else are we going to have phones that blow up in our faces? Thanks, Samsung. Speaking of texting, speaking of phones, this isn't news, but it is a disturbing trend. Since 2007, the rate of teenage pregnancies has plummeted due to sexting. Isn't that bizarre, right? You think it'd be the exact opposite, right? So apparently, teenagers, they're too busy to meet people IRL, so they're sexting because they're just too busy, and it's pretty insane that I guess it could be a safe substitute. They prefer to tease you with snaps. Sorry, that's personal. Anyway, you know, it can be a safe alternative, but, you know, be careful, especially when you're group sexting. I had a wild Friday. There was a lot of eggplants. There was a lot of peaches being thrown around. You're going to have to Google that stuff because it means something. Oh, hey, hang on one sec. Oh, I should take this. Anyway, we have a great show for you today. We're going to do a review. We got some great sketches, so stick around.
Yeah, so anyway, the game's a piece of crap, but I just can't stop playing it.
Man, what a waste of $60.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, hang on. I have to actually leave something for Garen, so.
Ah, no worries. Why is he in the studio, though? Why is he in Mike's old office?
Ah, he's still upset about the whole dead body thing.
What a wimp.
Right.
I'll see you.
All right, cool. What in the world?
Phil, what are you doing? You've been standing here for like 5 minutes. Oh my god, what is that?
Sorry, I can't take my eyes off of this creepy thing.
Yeah, that is really creepy. Why does Garen have a voodoo doll?
I knew he was into dark stuff, but this is malicious.
Yeah. What do you think it's for?
I don't know. Only one way to find out. Oh, that hurt.
Jesus.
Ah!
Are you okay?
Ah, man, that really hurt. I mean, not just physically, but like my feelings are hurt too.
Yeah, man, who would have thought?
Man, I thought this would be for Ted.
Hey guys.
No! What the hell, Garen? I thought we were friends.
Dude, what are you talking about?
I stabbed this thing in the arm, and now my arm stings like hell. Why do you have a voodoo doll of me?
Voodoo doll? Dude, that's not a voodoo doll, man. That's a you-do doll.
You do what?
You-do doll. Like, whatever you do to the doll hurts you. I'm not a monster, man. I'm not gonna hurt other people. I hurt myself. For writing.
I'm confused.
Here, let me show you. Okay. There we go. Okay. Oh, God! Oh, life is pain! Oh. Why?
Oh, wow. That's really good.
Yeah, that is really good.
There we are. See, I used the doll to get over my writer's block by manufacturing small bursts of depression in order to fuel my creative process.
Garen, that's really dark.
I know, isn't it great?
Let me see that. You say you do anything to this doll when it happens to you?
Yeah, you can massage the shoulders, itch your feet. Just be careful around the genitals, though. I mean, unless you're into that sort of thing.
Oh, no.
What?
Oh, God, no.
You know what? This is a little weird. I think I'm just gonna...
Yeah, man, have fun with your weird doll.
Alright. See you guys! Alright. Have some fun.
Welcome back to Quiet on the Set. Next to me is Jason and Robert, and these two gentlemen will tell you a little bit about the show Atlanta, a new show that premiered, I think, at Fox.
Did you?
No.
Did you take
FX.
notes?
Yes, I did. I actually wrote down some notes, and so I have cue cards
Jesus.
today.
Wow.
And so I want to start off with Atlanta. So Atlanta is created by Donald Glover. For those who don't know, Donald Glover is a actor that got his start on don't know if he got started on, but became
He got to start in sketch comedy.
He got sketch comedy, doing stuff on YouTube and stuff like that from Derek Comedy, I
Derek
believe.
Comedy. One of my main inspirations for the writing I do on this show, by the way.
There you go.
So.
So nice little wraparound. On top of that, he also was a big part of Community for, I believe, 5 of the their seasons. And after they kind of stopped acting for a little bit, I think he did a few bit parts.
Music, right? And Childish Gambino.
Exactly, and
He
they
also
started doing
wrote for a long time. He was writing on 30 Rock.
right.
He did all Tracy Morgan's dialogue came from him, basically.
Right, and so basically, and then he started his musical career
Tracy Morgan.
with the Childish
Shout out to
Gambino.
Tracy Morgan. God, I hope he's doing all right.
He is. No, he's doing
better?
he did the award show. He was a little bit off, but now he's getting slowly better.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah. And so Atlanta, starring Donald Glover, Brian Tyree Henry, Kenneth Stanfield, and Zazie Beetz.
Zazie Beetz?
Zazie Beetz.
I don't know who Zazie Beetz is.
And so yeah, and the thing is, like, when you're listening to this, the only name that really stands out, at least for me, is Donald Glover.
Glover,
Yeah.
right.
One of those guys was in the Book of Mormon, I think.
Was it like the play?
Yeah.
Got
I'm
it.
pretty sure. I did some reading. I don't remember exactly where I read that.
Right. So just really quick, a little bit more backstory before we actually get into talking about the episode. There are 2 episodes have aired. They did it back to back, about 26 minutes apiece, and they were all filmed in Atlanta. It was completely all shot in Atlanta,
cool.
so it was all local. I actually shot there. And I'll start off because I'm gonna talk about the interview, and it's. Did you watch it, Phil?
I did not.
And so basically, the way this was done, it was done really gritty. It was really interesting how they did it because me and Jason were talking about this earlier, and we're going to talk about it now. How I feel like I really enjoyed it. I really, really enjoyed it, but it had this really weird, gritty feeling that sometimes it just took me out.
No, I thought it was comedy though, right?
There's comedic moments, but it's got a very serious.
It's a comedic
story.
drama as
Yeah.
the genre that it's under.
Because Donald Glover is a funny guy, and
Sure.
he has a lot of his unintentionally hilarious straight man lines that he used to do, like when in his sketch comedy days, and a little bit of Community. But the story that's going on, that's playing out, has a lot of social commentary, a lot of really borderline dramatic struggle.
Interesting. So like a borderline rule, just hard and fast. Comedy half hour, drama's an hour. So it's a half-hour show.
Yeah.
So that would lend itself to comedy. But if you
Yeah.
had to say, if it followed in one camp or the other, you'd say drama?
I mean, the thing is, it's a dark comedy, I think, more than
Yeah.
anything
Oh, dark
else.
comedy. Okay.
Because when you're looking at it, there are a lot of jokes where you're kind of sitting there and you're like, I understand the humor in this, but
Sure.
I'm uncomfortable to laugh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Where you're kind of sitting there like you start realizing more as both of the episodes kind of progress that Donald Glover's character Ern Ernest is his first name. There's, I'm sure, some
Spoiler.
right? Oops, Garrett, I'm sorry. He's not even paying attention. It's all good. And so, oh god, he's signaling he doesn't know what to do. Perfect. Anyways, so
I'm gonna let you take over with your notes. I'll be right.
right. Anyways,
Well, just actually really quickly,
Right.
give me a log line. What is this show about?
it's about people in Atlanta trying to make it big, trying to kind of make something of their lives. Because what I was gonna say really quick before I got interrupted was Ern. We kind of realized that his character, he did something. There's something hinted that something happened, and he's a general screw up.
Okay.
That a lot of people don't trust him. Not don't trust him, but like he's not reliable and stuff like that. And you're sitting here like, it's weird because there's this disjointed thing where he's really smart and can do a bunch of things, but dead end job. You know, it's weird. And I mean, the whole show starts off with a bang, quite literally.
Okay.
I'm not gonna spoil what the bang is, but
Sure.
it's kind of like holy crap. And then we kind of do that little hacky thing.
How'd we get to this point?
yeah.
Yeah.
And then everything starts off from there.
Okay. So, would you recommend the show?
That's the thing. I would, and even everyone online, 50 out of 50 people asked, 100% of them said yes.
Wow.
It has amazing ratings.
Did you just hear what he said? Out of the 50 people that they polled, 100% would say they watched the show.
Yeah.
Oh, it's great.
So yeah, and that like, everyone's praising it, but I'm sitting here like, have we got?
There's still something about it that you're not quite.
I mean, the thing like a lot of times it's noise. Like they have really noisy shots because some of the things take place at night, and
that's intentional, right? They're going for that.
but it's not.
It's
not.
There's a bit of it that feels like it could be intentional, but I did a lot of reading about the show before it started, and it's a very, very, we'll say, young crew that's working on it. It's guys that this is like their break. For a lot of people on the show, it's their break, and the crew and stuff like that. So I think some of this is the result of inexperience or not being able to plan properly.
That they're
or
not
something.
filming in L.A.
Well, they don't have that crew, right?
Yeah. but not in like a negative way.
Sure.
Just like if you're working in those kinds of
Environment.
environment, if you're working in that situation with those limitations, they'll get better as they go. I
Sure.
think.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, but the things I also think is that have we as a people come to accept that?
It didn't bother me, but I
Exactly.
noticed it.
I mean-
I noticed it because I'm a filmmaker.
We could delve into the rabbit hole like really far into this.
Well, no, but I mean, just on the surface of it, is the story so good here that we forget about the technical limitations of things?
I'm gonna say yes.
I don't think we've seen enough of this to know whether it's good enough. It's good for sure.
Yeah.
But is it gonna?
The story's hooked a lot of people on the first 2 episodes.
Is it gonna maintain? Like
Yeah.
If Breaking Bad was technically not a masterpiece, the story's good enough that you wouldn't care.
Right.
Like it could be totally low budget and you wouldn't care. I don't know if this is to that level, but I'm still really enjoying it.
Right.
I also recognize that part of it is a bias to the fact that I love Donald Glover and that I've been following his career
Right.
since he was in high school.
Right.
So it's really
If he wasn't
hard
part of
for me.
this, how invested would you be?
I don't know if I'd even have bothered watching it.
Right.
For me personally, it's
The story-
somebody might have told me it was good, and I
Right.
would have checked it out because I'm very open to that sort of thing. But it wouldn't have hooked me just on concept alone. Even the trailers, if it was some other group of guys that I didn't recognize, I'd have been like, oh, "That's weird."
Yeah.
I'd have known that it existed.
Reverse trailer, but I guess it okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I think that's interesting. I mean, and I think we're starting to see that. I mean, again, story and star power in TV now too, something we've seen in
Yeah.
film for a long time.
Absolutely. I'm interested to look at what your cue cards say.
No, that was it. It was basically the starring in Atlanta, and then
Uh-huh.
just some of the raw facts.
Okay,
That's
so
it.
Obviously, I know your opinion. You
Yes.
definitely recommend. Jason.
I'd recommend it also. I really enjoyed it. I had a blast. I think some of the things Robert was mentioning that he wasn't so strong on, I recognize they didn't bother me that much. My one concern, and Robert brought this up, and it doesn't bother me, but I could see it being an issue, is that there is a tendency to feel, at least to white people that don't have to deal with this, that some of what's being talked about in the show, not directly talked about, but some of what's being shown, might feel preachy to people who don't want to be told that there are struggles in the world. That I would say people need to get over themselves, but I can see it being an issue. Like there are members of my family I know won't watch this show
Right.
because they don't
really?
want to watch TV and then feel bad.
Well, I mean, and the thing is, in some way, I feel bad. There are parts of the show that kind of drag, where they're in the second episode. There's a sequence of scenes not right after each other, but like through the whole episode that take place inside of a prison.
So it's in the waiting area.
in
at a police
the
station.
holding in
Yeah.
like the drunk pen holding area of a prison and
That's a jail.
a jail,
Yeah.
and so county, whatever, not county, but whatever. I don't know how jails work. I'm sorry.
Never been to jail. Sorry.
Yeah, and so but there's like these, and you're sitting there like the situations that happen there are interesting to watch, but where does it all fit in? It's weird because the things that one of the main characters is there and he's sitting there and he's experiencing it, so I understand why we're seeing it, but at the same time it's like I don't know. It's like I said, it's like this enigma that's really. Like I said, I'm looking at it and it feels good, but there are parts of me that I'm just sitting there and I get into like the film critic mode or the film, and I'm just like, I don't know why this is here. I can't, I don't understand that.
Not yet. I mean, it could be the third episode will pay it off. You know. And what do you think? This will run 10 episodes, 13, 22? If it
I'm
gets
thinking
full run?
probably 12. Is
12.
I
is
think it's 13 or 12, I believe.
12 or
Yeah.
13. That's pretty typical for
FX too. I mean, and
It is FX.
and it's also a question of if they're going to be doing two every week.
Yeah.
Because I know Louis did that for the
I
longest
don't
time.
think they're going to do every week because on their on-demand thing
Uh-huh.
that they do, the initial premiere was released as a 1 and 2 combo
Right.
for like 3 days, and then they split them into episode 1, episode 2, and the original one, like I had saved it and it's gone now
Yeah.
because they've split it into two
Yeah.
separate entries. So I think that was just a 2-episode premiere like they usually
But
do.
the thing is, that's what I'm saying is FX does that with some of their shows because, like I said, they did that with Louis, a long-established show where they would release 2 for like an hour block. Because again, what was Louis?
Right.
Louis was kind of that
How many
dark
episodes was
comedy,
Louis?
huh?
How many episodes a
I
season
think it was like
Louis?
8 episodes or 8 or like.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Burn through this show in a minute, huh?
Yeah, and so that's why. But the thing is, because people are used to watching it at that length, so that's why I'm questioning. Like,
And if it works for FX, if that's their thing, I don't
dude,
watch enough of FX.
FX is so poorly managed, and I hate it.
I
hate it.
watch their stuff on
That's a whole
demand.
nother show, guys.
I wait for DVDs to come out for Sunny. I watch Archer on Hulu like 3 seasons late.
Right.
I don't watch FX.
Well, it's
that
because
often.
they have horrible marketing. The Strain and American Horror Story is all I know that is on FX.
American Horror Story is on FX?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
That's premiering the 14th.
Honestly, I thought it was on
Yeah.
another channel. I honestly had no idea.
On that note, we're gonna wrap this up. So you'd say you recommend. You'd say you recommend.
Absolutely.
Two
It's a good
seasons
show.
have aired.
Two
Stick around.
episodes.
2 episodes. What did I say?
2 seasons.
Which would be amazing.
2 episodes have aired. So when we come back, we're gonna do a review of Apple products. We're gonna do the Apple event.
The event.
Oh boy.
Apple event. And
Look at how
PS4
excited
event.
I am.
Oh, that was quick. I have my notes, and that didn't happen. So
Perfect time for my stand-up comedy.
right? No, I mean we could get into this. So
I think you got a bone to pick with the facts.
no, yeah, well, no, it's not the fact. I mean, the thing is, okay, so the Apple event happened on Wednesday, as they usually do. There were apparently everyone in the tech industry decided to start putting up events because it wasn't only Apple that did their event. Sony had their event as well. So did Dell, and I think one more company had an event. So it was like tech journalists were all complaining about it. I'm like, we get to see a bunch of tech stuff, you know.
Right? Why not just compile it and have everything all together? Right?
Oh, I don't know how that would work. I don't think anybody would really be enjoying it.
Uh-huh.
And so the event was held at the Moscone Center in San Francisco.
Okay.
They started off by introducing a new video game. We're talking about 2 new video games that are going to be huge parts on Apple products exclusively at first. Was Pokemon Go. There's a whole new watch app to where like basically you could actually watch. You could see what Pokemons are around, and if a Pokemon pops up, you could like see it and open up on your phone and catch it. It'll also count your steps for your eggs, so you could catch eggs and stuff like that. And if you walk by Pokestop, you don't have to pull your phone out. You can actually get the Pokestop on your Apple Watch.
Okay.
So that was kind of like the connectivity of the whole new watch.
Do you think the Pokemon thing is fading a little bit, or?
The thing is that the thing is that happens with every game.
Yeah.
I mean, every game slumps, but the thing is, I think with
loyal base will stay.
yeah, and then the thing is here that they're renovating. Coming out this coming week, the official Pokemon Watch app. It's gonna retail 30. I know this is not Apple, but it's gonna retail $30. And it's a clip, and it can be worn as a watch. And again, same thing. If you walk by Pokestop, you tap it, you collect the stuff.
Okay.
And with this one, if you see a Pokemon on it, you actually try catching it. You just keep throwing Pokeballs with the watch, and it like vibrates and stuff like that.
Got it. So you don't need your smartphone.
You need your smartphone because it's still connected to your smartphone.
But your phone can stay in your pocket.
Yeah,
the whole time.
and you could catch from the
Got it.
watch.
I think that's better. It's a little bit more safe. Than
exactly
people
no,
like
and
this.
exactly, and
running
it
the track.
vibrates, and it's a tracker and all this stuff. So
Cool.
that's cool.
Yeah.
So that's coming out retail for $30.
And that's just Apple, right? You can't.
No. That watch is for everything, for every phone. The Apple Watch app is just for Apple.
Got it.
And so there's that, and again they were talking about, and then they brought on Shigeru Miyamoto, who is the celebrity apparently. And the thing is, like, this person doesn't drive anymore because he's such a valuable asset to Nintendo that they drive him everywhere in basically an armored car. Kind of an armor. It's like a bigger SUV. So
Nintendo Pope is what he is.
yeah, and well, basically the thing is that he's so valuable, and like if he were to pass away, God forbid, knock on everything, that Nintendo's stock would probably plummet. Huge.
What is his
He's
function? What does he do?
he's the Godfather. He's the father to Mario, to Link, I believe, as well. To basically almost any property that matters. Not any. There've been other people. That's unfair to say to a lot of the creative people at Nintendo. But he is the huge person behind a lot of their properties.
Okay.
And kind of seen as a lot of their innovation is coming from him as well.
Okay.
And so he came on stage, and in his broken English, then with a translator, introduced Mario Run.
Okay. I like the sound of this. I've never heard of this before.
No, exactly. And so Mario Run is basically an Apple exclusive at first.
Uh-huh.
No one else has announced it. They haven't announced if it's coming out on Android or not. And so basically, it's a Mario game, a Mario platform. Platformer is a game that you run side to side scrolling.
Right, like the classic Mario game. You remember,
Exactly.
Donkey Kong.
And so basically, it's a Mario game on your iPhone where you're running and you're collecting, you're stomping on Toadstool, on Koopa
Goombas?
Troopas and stuff like Goombas and stuff like that. And so that's gonna be an Apple exclusive. And they're like, oh, with Apple technology, we could do all this. And they show that off.
Wait, are you telling me that if I have this app and if I want to walk as Mario, I have to walk?
No. This it's just a game. It's like it's he runs by himself, so he runs automatically, and like you trigger him by tapping him, and like you can break blocks by jumping, and like That's it. You could jump. I think you reverse at points, and basically it's like every Mario game. You need to get to the end and get the flag and
Sure,
stuff like that.
Sure.
And
How is that innovative?
it's not innovative. The fact that a Nintendo game, an actual Nintendo property, not just Niantic or Pokemon or anything like that, an actual Nintendo game, not like Miitomo either. Miitomo is a Nintendo game, but it's like the Mii avatars. An actual Nintendo game is now on a mobile platform, supported 100% by Nintendo. Again, Shigeru Miyamoto came out in the Apple event to show this off.
Got it.
So that's a huge thing.
Sure.
And again, maybe not innovative, but groundbreaking for sure.
Sure.
Um,
So those are the 2 video games. Right?
so yes, and so video games, and then from there they went off to talk about sharing. So basically now you can share between all their Office apps, and I'm like, that's great. You again, Microsoft and Google beat you to it. So welcome 2013 on that one. Every time they do announcements on Apple, I like to classify the announcement by what year it should have came out in, and so
kind of like the iPhone 7, like, oh, we're not waterproof. I'm like, oh, all right.
congratulations, right? Yeah. Samsung's been doing that for a few years, but anyways, more on that in a second. So they came out and then they announced a new Apple Watch. So everyone's kind of like,
a new Apple Watch.
and that's kind of what that everyone's been like whatever about. You know, it's like, oh, this one's water resistant. That's and really cool feature here that I really enjoyed. So the biggest problem on a phone is that for a speaker to work correctly, it has to have opening and it has to have air.
Yeah,
that's how
right.
speakers work, right? It's a vibration of air that you
Waves
hear.
that- go through it,
Exactly. So how do you waterproof something that is constantly needing air? Because if air can get in, water can get in.
Right, yeah.
And so basically what they did is they soundproofed the barrier behind the speaker, and for the speaker that when you finish your water workout or whatever, it vibrates and spits out all the water in the chamber there for the speaker. I thought that was cool. I'm sitting there and I
It's a
was
phone
like,
shake weight is what it is.
it's a little, you know, and so no, but like again, that I thought was really cool because it's like they saw the problem and like how do we fix it, and they actually conquered that.
That is pretty cool, actually.
And so there's that, and then the iPhone 7 came out. That they went to announce it.
So it's actually coming out next week? I believe?
Yes, they usually do it a week after the announcement,
Sure.
and it's pre-orders. I don't know if it's actually going to be shipping or actually be available. And they might have done the pre-orders last week, and it's coming out next week. And so they two new versions, the 7 and the 7 Plus.
Okay.
They're really identical. The 7 Plus has a little bit. The specs are a little bit better. I think the battery is bigger as well. It also has dual cameras, and this is where I started to get little kind of crazy about it. So
Crazy in a good way?
no, because they're saying that depth of field isn't achievable on a normal camera the way it's achievable on the iPhone 7, which the 7 Plus, which is true to an extent. The problem here is that
You might have to just briefly explain depth of field. Too.
so basically when you have a lens and if you have a lens that is at a low aperture or low f-stop, the light fragmenting through the barrel of the lens or the camera is causing your background not to be completely in focus because the waves the length of light rays aren't straight.
Got it.
When they bend,
Got it.
again, it's not the same image. It's not the full image. It's a blurry
You
image.
see like a filmic image of, he's in really crisp
Yeah.
focus and his background is blurry.
Yeah.
You know, that's depth. That would be a low depth of field.
It'll be
Shallow depth of
and,
field.
and the blurriness behind me that would be there would the fancy term for it's bokeh.
Oh.
And so they were like, "Oh, this is an insta bokeh machine." And so basically, what it does is something that Litro's been doing. A Litro camera, it basically takes a picture of your background and the foreground and blurs the background because it knows the distance. Because there's a 58 millimeter lens for the small one, and then I believe it's a 75 or 85 millimeter for the telephoto one.
Got it.
And it's cool because you could actually do like actual optical zoom, not a digital zoom.
Oh,
so
that is cool.
it's a cleaner image. But the thing is, again, they're like, oh, you wouldn't be able to do this with a normal camera or anything like that. I'm like, so anything you could focus, you could get bokeh, or anything you could adjust the f-stop, but you could get bokeh on.
Yeah.
And just the claims they're making, I'm sitting here like, who are you guys selling this to? Like you're trying to sell it to like the professional photographers, but it sounds like I don't know. It just some of it was crazy, and they were demonstrating it, and then they showed an image like you would be only able to get this image on a professional camera, and at the end of the presentation, this was shot on the iPhone 7 Plus. I was like,
And giant billboard, right? That hasn't been doctored in any way.
Right, hasn't been doctored, and I'm only 300 pounds. Anyways, so yeah, and so that was kind of the event, and the one that everyone lost their crap over is they took out the iPhone, the headphone jack, and so basically they took out an analog cable to put it to replace it with a digital. So now if you want to use headphones, which they're including in the box, they're including a Lightning Lightning to 3.5,
yeah.
and they're also including a set of Lightning AirPod or not AirPods, the normal headphones. So that's great. And they also introduced the AirPods, which you talked about in the monologue for $170. Those are kind of cool because they have like a touch thing where you could like touch once and it'll activate Siri.
It's like Bluetooth.
Yeah,
right.
Well, they didn't actually never talk about the technology, but they didn't put any new antennas into the actual cell phone. So it's either gonna be Wi-Fi or Bluetooth connectivity.
Wait, now these are on a separate charge than the phone, or how does the charge work?
So you get about 4 hours for the headphones themselves because they have each individual batteries, and the case they come in is another battery. So when you put the headphones away when you're not using them, the case is charging them as well.
And what's charging the case?
They have to plug that in. It's like one of the new portable batteries that everyone's using.
Got it.
So that's basically what the case is. It's a new portable battery.
Got it. Okay. Will it catch on?
The thing is that I've had Bluetooth headphones since high school. So for the past 6 years. Shouldn't date myself that bad. And so, but I've had Bluetooth headphones for the longest time. I always thought it was the greatest technology. It's the downside. What everyone complains about it's sketchy. It's not 100% like,
Yeah.
Sometimes the signal falls out, whatever. But it's great. I mean, I don't see you have to charge the headphones, so that's that. I don't know. It's complicated. My biggest problem, and this is because Jason was protecting the removal of the 3.5 jack, and he's like, I'm like, I have no problem with them taking away the 3.5 jack, but making everyone start using a Lightning connector that's only proprietary to iPhone products. That's what irritated me.
Classic Apple move.
Because and the thing is, if they would replace that port with a USB Type-C, which they do have on some of their other products, which is again the next standard, people. So if again that all the new phones are coming out with it and stuff like that, I have it on my phone. It's a reversible, and no matter which we put it in, it goes in. It's really cool, and quicker speeds of all that. And so if they replaced the Lightning port with a USB Type-C and took out the headphone jack, because again the headphone jack was on there and was not proprietary. Apple didn't own the headphone jack, so you could use any headphones you wanted in theory.
Yeah.
So now you only could use the Beat headphones that have the Lightning connector on it right now. I mean, there are going to be other headphones that are coming out with it.
Yeah.
I just don't see a market for a Lightning connector when only Apple products could use it.
Right.
You know? So it's like, so I don't think a lot of people are going to be jumping on the bandwagon right away. So.
Time will tell. Time will tell.
Yeah.
Anyway, thank you for the in-depth discussion about Apple products. And do we even get into the PS4? Do we
I mean, we really the PS4 promised a lot of things and people are disappointed. That's the short and skinny of it.
Oh my god, it's No Man's Sky as a console.
You mean it's another Sony blunder within 24 days? Uh-oh. Sony, what are you doing? You're becoming Xbox.
So what's the issue?
If
time will allow. Yeah.
Yeah, no. I mean, we just really quickly go through it. What ended up happening is everyone was expecting, because it's been leaked, the PS4 Neo. It's not gonna be a new PS4, but it's gonna be a step up, and the step up isn't really worth it.
Okay.
Like there are a couple things it does, but it's weird because what everything the noise about around E3 was that consoles want to get into the same cycle as cell phones. For people who know, like the standard cycle for a cell phone is every 2 years. Every 2 years you replace your phone. That's just what we're built into now. Excuse me. So consoles want to do that because for consoles it's more money. The problem is that they're in a different market than phones are.
Yeah.
And it's not like you could go out and build your own phone. Rest in peace, Project Ara. And so Project Ara was the Blocks one that you could actually put your own phone together. Google axed it, unfortunately, because they didn't want to deal with it. That there's again another show. But and the thing is, like when it comes to gaming, you could go build your own PC, and if something goes out, you could fix it. PS4 is like, oh, this is the new latest greatest hardware. And it's like, yeah, but how long is that gonna last me now?
Yeah.
You know, like because Scorpio's coming out next year, and it just so a bunch of that. So that was a lot of the disappointment from the Sony event as well. Is just that the PS4 was the PS4 Pro and the PS4 Slim. The Slim is basically the slim version of the old PS4.
Yeah. And
then the PS4 Pro is like, okay.
Not
necessary.
I mean,
the thing is, I don't see them selling a lot this.
Oh, Okay, fair enough.
this holiday season.
Cool. Well, Robert, thank you again
No
for all
problem.
the in-depth stuff, all the technical stuff. We appreciate
Tech.
it. Tech, right? Up
Yeah.
next, I'll be doing an interview with Addison Reynolds. Stick around. Welcome back to Quiet on the Set. I'm your host, Phil Biadrone. Before I say anything else, please remember to like and subscribe. We love you, our fans. Next to me is Addison Randall. Addison has run the entire gamut of anything to do with this industry. He's been a producer, director, actor, stunts, anything that you can think of. First AD as well. So Addison, thank you for being on the show.
My pleasure, Phil.
Pleasure.
Good to see you again.
Good to see you. So I know you've got a long, extensive career in the industry. I guess the most obvious question is, how did you get started?
Well, I was kind of thrown into it. I was born into it.
Like you were born in LA? Is that what you mean?
Yeah, I was born in L.A., but my family was also what they call show business royalty.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, my grandfather was a guy by the name of Hal Roach, who did all of the Our Gang comedies and Laurel and Hardy, and
Wow.
the studio did a lot of other stuff, but those are the ones that he's mainly known for. And my dad was a pretty big star over at Republic Studios, so he did a lot of their top end westerns.
Is Republic Studios and RKO, is that the same? Or
I don't believe so.
Okay.
Republic is Republic, RKO is radio. I don't know. So I sort of didn't have a choice. I mean, I was hanging around with movie folk since the day I was old enough to think about it.
Wow.
And once I got into school, I was doing plays, and then I got into high school, and we did a play, and I got to do a part that I was the first one ever to get to actually do a speaking role without being a junior or a senior.
Is it a play I'd know? Or?
A little thing called Sound of Music.
Okay, cool. Were you a Nazi?
No, I
I'm sorry, my mind went there. You could have been Liesel, I don't know.
not in that one.
Okay.
I was a Nazi in another one, but I wasn't a Nazi in that one. Actually, no, I'm sorry, I'm wrong. See, I'm old. I forget things. It was, Carousel.
Carousel, got it.
Carousel.
Musical, got it.
So I was.
Were you a Nazi in Carousel?
No.
kidding.
I told you it was another. And so I got to actually say a line, which freshmen were never allowed to do.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
And I found out that when you come off stage and it's the end of the show, girls come up and hug you. Wow, yeah. And I got to do this. So that's how I got into the acting thing. And ended up doing some small, low-budget pictures, one of them with my dad, which was kind of fun. A thing called, the title will tell you what kind of picture it was. It was called Girls for Rent.
So you really went down that girl's road.
Hey, listen, but...
I think I've got a pirated copy of that in my personal library. I'm kidding, it's not pirated.
Good. I went from there. I ran into a friend of mine who cast me in this little horror film, and everybody liked what I did in it. So the executive producer asked me, "Well, have you got a script you'd like to do?" What do you mean? Do I have a script? I said, "Yeah." He said, "Well, would you like to direct it?"
Wow.
I said, "Yeah, sure, you bet."
So from actor,
From actor right into director.
Writer and director.
Yeah, I wrote it and I directed it. My
Did you
first
have
film.
something, or you're like, oh, I'm going to scrap
No.
it?
I actually had something.
Okay, cool.
I'd actually tried to.
Lesson in Hollywood, always have a script in your back.
Absolutely.
Never know. Yeah.
Or more than one.
More than one.
So we did this picture called it's now called Payback, and it was Payback before
Milk Gibson.
Milk Gibson.
Yeah.
Yes, second. And
AKA Girls for Rent,
yeah,
too.
we got could have been. We got to blow stuff up, and it was great.
Nice.
I mean, got to blow cars up and take girls' clothes off, and that was fun.
This sounds like an 80s action movie.
Yeah, it was. It was blow stuff up, defy authority, and take women's clothes off. It's basically that was the formula for making a successful film.
Yeah, I think someone told me like every 6 pages you got to have someone undressing, you got to have an explosion, you got to have.
If at that time in the video world, if you wanted to sell your video, they would go in and they would fast forward through most of the story, just looking for girls getting undressed, the bombs blowing up, or fights and things like that.
Wow.
And you had to shoot it in Hollywood because everybody wanted to see Hollywood.
Oh, cool.
So I shot most of my stuff in Hollywood.
It sounds like you can make a killing at that. You know, if you got a formula, because this was your directorial debut.
Yeah.
Right?
And
Yeah.
we got there was Payback. There was oh Lord, I can't see if I can remember. It was so long ago. Payback.
Shotgun.
Aha! I have a fan. And you'll be surprised how much I had to pay him to say that. Payback, Shotgun, East LA Warriors, Thing But Chance with Lawrence Hilton Jacobs, and there was another one in there too.
Zone.
Ah, but look at that! I got two fans.
He's scrolling IMDb as we speak.
Your checks in the mail too. See, obviously they haven't seen them yet because they said that with a straight face. But so I ended up as an in-house director for PM.
Wow. So
And-
PM was the production company?
Yeah, that was PM Entertainment.
does
They
that stand
started
for
off
something?
doing little, $125,000 films, little
Okay.
horror films. They sold the company for $65 million.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow, you
So-
wow. Cool.
you know the formula stuff can work,
Yeah. Yeah.
and I kind of had to go meat and potatoes after that because you got to eat.
Right.
So after meat and potatoes, I'm now trying to ease myself back into the acting world, which is a hell of a lot harder than I thought it was going to be. It's all changed. So as
Yeah.
you probably know,
Sure.
it's all being done electronically, and it costs more. So that was basically it. But I got a chance to go to film school and get paid for it.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
that was the thing that was nice about it.
Huh. What are some of the big differences you see in the industry today versus the heydays in the 80s?
Oh boy!
of PM?
Well, I can actually go through 3 generations because I was sort of
Right,
like the late end of the golden age. So guys like Gable and Lombard and people like that were still alive and still doing films.
Wow.
And then I saw it come into the television era, where everybody said, "Oh well, you know, films are dead, television's going to live." And then the other side said, "Oh no, you know, television's going to die because it's just a joke." And now I'm seeing the internet era, which
Right.
is just amazing. The old idea of having to go to, you know, having to have $10 million to make a film, or even $10,000 to make a film, has now changed to you don't need any money. You need good friends and an iPhone.
Right.
So-
I mean, the fact that you and I are here, being filmed, being streamed live,
There
at
it
this
is.
very moment at. I'll say we're on a pretty limited budget. I mean, it's pretty remarkable. This is something that I'm getting this motion from my producer. We couldn't have done this 10 years ago. I
No.
don't think,
No, I
or
don't
at
think
least
we
not for what we're doing.
No, not and send it out worldwide if
Yeah.
well
yeah, technically.
maybe eventually.
Yeah. I mean, technically, anyone could
Yeah,
listen in and watch us from
So-
all over the world as long as you have an internet connection.
Yeah.
I mean,
So-
that's remarkable.
So I'm glad to be here because you know, hey guys, I need work. And it's you know the whole headshot thing. You know, it used to be you put your headshot in an envelope along with your resume, you mail it out, and you wait. Maybe a week later you make a call. Now it's you put everything on the internet, and they go bing bing, and
Yeah.
what? There's something like 84,000 actors,
Yeah.
and only a third
Disclaimer:
of them
This is going to get pretty depressing really soon. So
Only-
maybe eat a popsicle or something if you don't want to hear some hard facts. So as you're saying,
only about 2% of them work all the time.
right? Yeah. That's out of the Screen Actors Guild. There's less than 5% of them. You know,
and
making-
and now, I mean, with everybody wants to be a YouTube star.
yeah.
They
Like and subscribe, please. This is my meal ticket. Okay. I'm sorry.
I know that's quite all right. You know, I understand how you feel. At least you're getting work.
Yeah, there you go.
He's one of them. He's one of that 2%.
Yeah, there's actually, I just saw on IMDb the other day, there's YouTube stars starring in feature films. What's her name? Grace what's her name? Helbig? Grace Helbig, yeah. She's starring in a feature film that's having a theatrical release, coming just from a humble YouTube background, amassing subscribers and likes. It's
Well, there was a project that was done called The Chair, which was a lot like Project Greenlight.
yeah.
And one of the kids that they gave the script to, that they were going to give, you know, here we're going to give you $80,000 and a script, and you go direct it. And this one kid had over 1 million followers.
Wow.
And when they were going in and, pardon me, when they were going in and scouting, he would be mobbed by these teenagers, you know,
Sure.
and everybody knew him. But when he finally finished the picture, and they had the big, you know, deal
Premiere.
for it, yeah, big premiere, place was packed, just packed because he was going to be there. The second night of the show that we just played in theaters, crickets.
Oh.
Nobody cared. They didn't come to see the film. They came to see him. They didn't give a damn about the film. So you know, you hear about these people with you know, tens and thousands of followings. Yeah. But that means, you know, if you do that picture and they give you the job because you got all those followers, they don't care about the picture. You know, unless they see it on their YouTube.
Is it just because they assume they've made this channel or whatever for probably a limited budget? So if we were to give them just a little bit of money, they're going to be able to turn us a profit really easily?
I really don't know.
Because I'm sorry to cut you off, but what I've noticed.
Well,
recently-
don't do it again.
What I've noticed recently is that some YouTube series or whatever, they'll gain a little bit of popularity and then they'll go shopping around to like Comedy Central and they'll say, hey, we got this web series, we could do a lot with a little bit of money. And then it's nothing for Comedy Central to throw them $10,000 and say, have a field day, go shoot what you want. And, you know, it's a small investment and then it could lead into a bigger thing. And then if it's well received, then they'll swoop in and buy it back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there are literally people out there that are making $100,000 a year
Yeah.
just on YouTube.
Yeah, it's insane.
So it's a little crazy. I'm still trying to wrap my head around it. You know, I'm used to the old-fashioned days where you get up and go, I need work. You know, where's my agent? Agents don't do anything anymore.
Yeah.
They basically make deals. You know?
Uh-huh.
They don't pay for the. They don't do the work that they used to. You just pick up the phone. It was all their relationships, and you wanted to find an agent that had great relationships with all the studios. And not anymore. No, not anymore. Well, you know much better than I. You know much better than I. You do.
Well, we'll have to continue this talk a little bit later. I promise. But let's end on a positive note. What is something inspirational, something positive?
Well, right now, I would say the most positive thing we're doing, which is kind of nice. I work with a gentleman by the name of Dan Watanabe, and they're doing what they call a PA boot camp.
PA? It's
Yeah,
called PA.
production assistant.
Okay.
Production assistant boot camp lasts 10 weeks, and basically professionals come in, and once every week they teach or talk about different parts of the industry. And this year they're taking it all the way from the beginning, from the idea of the story, all the way through final production. And the kids will be shooting some kind of a video, and based on what they've learned.
Oh, cool.
So it's going to be kind of nice.
So you're gonna be a guest speaker on that?
Yeah, I'm going to be teaching the most exciting stuff like scheduling and budgeting, which is the one thing the kid there. It's
most overlooked, yeah.
Why? What is that?
Yeah.
But if they're going to make the kind of money they're talking about, they better know what it is.
Yeah.
They-
Once you start saying dollar signs,
Yeah.
it perks their ears
yeah,
up. So.
I think, but but the big focus now seems to be all on YouTube. I guess Vimeo and Hulu. Is that the
Yeah,
other one?
sure. There's
So-
many growing each day.
Yeah.
Well, that is our time. I wanted to thank you so much
It's
for
been a
joining
pleasure,
us.
Phil. Always.
Please remember to like and subscribe our channel. This is Phil B. Drone, and I hope you enjoyed another episode of Quiet on the Set.